Hi everyone, it's your boy Kingxley here. Welcome back to a new video. On this video, I'm going to talk about challenges, life challenges and stuff like that. And there's a secret that I want to tell you on this video, so stay tuned. So, you know, I think it's fair to say that in our lives, in every day that we do things, we are faced with challenges every day. Things challenges. I see the things as like things that we need to overcome. Things that maybe we did not expect to have, and we have to overcome. It's like a challenge. It's something that will benefit from. Most of the times because I believe that the challenges that we get is always I think it's always in line with our own abilities. So there's no challenges that we can't deal with by ourselves, in terms of we may need help and we may get help, but I don't feel like there's a challenge that we can't overcome. And I think that's something that we have to bear in mind, you know. But I'll say that today I have really like something important to share. It's something that I've learned through my coach. If you remember when I talked about who my coach is, when I traveled to France to see him, and he shared the perspective. He shared one of the things that he does, and is actually really really helpful and really is actually really important because most of the challenges that happen, a lot of the challenges happens in our head, happens in our minds. I have a lot of friends that are dealing with challenges now, and I feel like I'm also dealing with my fair share of challenges. But I think that it shouldn't be something that defines us and something that stops us from doing what we have to do, in our daily lives, in terms of if it's work, studying, playing, partying, whatever we do, it shouldn't be like a barrier. So now let's jump into the secret itself. So yeah, so if you guys remember, I told you guys not long ago that I took part of a program, throughout last summer, and it allowed me to, learn a lot about myself, about how to deal with challenges, friends, my life, my story, and things that I happened in the past, things that will happen in the future and stuff. So it's something that has helped me a lot, and obviously I feel like I will link the video down below or somewhere in the video to which video I'm referring to. But I feel like what's important to remember is that I remember that when I first started doing motivational content, I first started talking about motivation on Instagram. And I remember I received one of the question when I was on live on Instagram about like how do you deal with like your life and challenges every day. And I always said that the way that I stay motivated and the way that I'm able to keep going despite things that has happened to me in the past is because of my perspective of things. I feel like if because the things that happen in your life, some one event, so many people can have different perspective to something that has happened. If someone is doing something wrong to you, I'm not saying that you should have the perspective of having like of basically the person doing something that that is okay. If the person did something that's not okay, acknowledge it, but change the perspective so that it doesn't affect you in the long term. So obviously an example I could give to that is, for example, if you are not able to, I don't know, pass an important exam, you can think about it to say like maybe all your classmates have passed the exam and you haven't passed the exam, so you might see yourself as a failure or whatever. Some of the things that we can say to ourselves can be harsh at times, but you have also to bear in mind that in the perspective that you can have is that first of all, you can have a second chance of the exam. There's resets, you can have a reset. You can see it as an opportunity to do something else, maybe something that you enjoy more, something that you understand more, something that you like more. So it's always to have this perspective of kind of praising yourself or giving like another chance to yourself despite something bad happening. So I think that's one of the things that I want to share with you guys is that throughout the challenges, we have to think about how do we want to feel, how like with the objective, set yourself an objective in terms of what exactly do you want to achieve, and from that you think about how do you want to feel about this objective, how do you want to feel about life, about the challenge. So that will be like point number one. So point number two will be kind of what do I do in my daily life that reflects my objectives, what is it I'm telling myself, what it's like because I feel like this the challenges that we deal with, although it's the challenges are like real life things, is things that we deal like on a like face to face essentially. A lot of the battles, as I've said before, is in our mind. So you have to set your mind. You have to send not necessarily your mindset, because I feel like mindset is like a thing where you're telling yourself, this is how I need to do things, or this is how I want to think, this is how I want to act. But I feel like it's not really mindset. It's more like, what do you tell yourself about yourself, or how do you tell what do you tell yourself about a situation, about a story, about something that has happened. That's how I see, that's how I see, like kind of telling a story to yourself is really important to bear in mind how we want to feel about something, because you know like in everything that we do, we need to think, we need to have a mind that is not limiting us. If you do something that you have failed, if you have failed to do something, like I gave the example of an exam, and you're telling yourself that you won't be able to pass the exam, highly likely you won't be able to pass the exam, because in your head you're blocked in on that stage where you can't pass the exam, and the things that you need to do to pass the exam you won't do, like revision or going to like a teacher, whatever resources and stuff that's available to you. You won't necessarily go to it, because you telling yourself that you can't pass the exam. But if you tell yourself that actually I can pass the exam because there's another chance, maybe you were able to see what you did wrong and you were able to correct it and stuff like that, you will see that even in your head, in your mind, you won't have much doubt about the way that about passing the exam, because in your head you will pass the exam. And even if you fail the exam, you know that there's nothing that has set you back, in the past. You went through the exam thinking that you could pass the exam, because you could pass the exam. The probability of you passing the exam is more, because you did things differently and you believe. So that's also a point like to bear in mind. So yeah, so as I was saying before, those the secret, like, to challenges, because that's the title of the video, is something that's been shared with my coach, coach Sude, if you remember him. And so it's that's why I have the book out. This is my book where I prepare for my videos and I write a lot of notes and stuff from what I've learned. So that's why I got my book out. And what it says that you need to put a lot of like your intentions into what you do. So your intention is the same thing as like your motivation or your mind, or the things that we were talking before about like how do you want to feel. It's like how, like, your intention is to be in the right area. And I think one of the example that our coach gave us, he said that there's not a lot of things that like triggers him in life, like in terms of, when I say trigger, like makes him angry or makes him frustrated and stuff like that. But there's one thing that makes him feel that way, is when he's driving. When he's driving, for those people that drive, that there's a lot of things, crazy things that's happening. When I say crazy things, is like a lot of behavior that's a bit, that's a bit upsetting at times, with people like, moving, merging or whatever. But he in his head, he's always saying to himself like a story. He's like, oh, maybe this guy that's just driving like crazy, maybe he has to go somewhere important, he needs to go to like hospitals, needs to pick up his kids and stuff like that, because it allows him to condition himself in a way where he's not going to get angry. And it's important, it's important to do that, because as we said before, it's like conditioning yourself is the key to like success, is the key to deal with your challenges. If you condition yourself to pass with the exam, you will pass the exam. Yeah, so that's one thing that we have to bear in mind. And so I think what one last thing that one thing that I also remember is that he did say to kind of, with the challenges and the things that we do, with the perspective that we're just talking about, don't allow yourself to let the chance pass. Because what he was saying that there's a place in the world. He just asked, where is the richest place in the world? And he did say that the richest place in the world is actually the cemetery, because the reason why it's the cemetery is because there's a lot of people that they basically don't take their chances. There's a lot of people that are blocked in terms of their challenges. They blocked in the challenges, and when they figure out what they need to do, how they want to do it, with their objectives, with the things that they want to do, the way they want to feel, it's actually time's up, if you get what I'm trying to say. So you're saying like don't let your chance go by, because at times, especially like for me, the chance to do what I want to do, the chance is now. Tomorrow there's not going to be another thing. So it's important also to bear in mind that he's basically trying to tell us that don't back down, or don't slack back, don't kind of make it like drag it. Do the things now, condition yourself now, think about how you want to do things, how do you want to feel, about like the exam and stuff like that, and you condition yourself to pass and to do the preparation to succeed. As we said before, it doesn't mean necessarily that we're gonna pass, but it just means that we have like a fair chance to pass essentially. So I think that's what I take away with, on how to deal with challenges. You have to bear in mind just your head and the conditioning that you do to yourself. So yes, I hope what I've said so far makes sense. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. If not, also give up, like leave a comment down below. But just to round up things, I'll say that the thing that I want to share is that he also reminded us that life will never get easier. Life was always difficult. The reason why he said that is because with the programs that we did, he gave us so many tools and so many ways to think about stuff, and obviously at the time when we finished the program till now, to when he spoke to us, it was a long time, like a few months. So obviously challenges like started to appear again, new challenges and stuff, and he said to us that I never said that life was gonna get easier. Life is the same. He has his fair share of challenges, as we said before. So he was telling us that what we want to live in our conscious, it needs to make sense. It needs to make sense in terms of it needs to be what we want essentially. So I feel like that for him to say that, it was really important for not necessarily for me but for all of us to say that. Like he didn't give us, like for example, like the key to life. He didn't give us something that was like, oh yeah, this is gonna get your life easier. No, he just gave us tools to deal with the challenges and with the different challenges that that we have. So yeah, he says like search for the things that makes the most sense with you, and then he was like, yeah, he was just like saying that it doesn't matter kind of what can happen. It doesn't matter if what you're doing is big. Always go for the things that make sense to you, and you need to like, as we said, think about the objective and how do you want to feel about what you want to live. So that's what I take away from all of that, and obviously I hope that helps for these people that deal with challenges. Don't kind of give up. Always change your perspective to condition yourself and to think in the right way, because by thinking the right way, as we said, is going to lead you to succeed and surpass the challenge, instead of dwelling in the challenge and think back about something that has happened. And it doesn't, like, obviously I don't know what the challenge is, and sometimes it can be hard to succumb to the challenge, but we have different emotions, so we have to also deal with the emotions. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I said before, leave a comment if you enjoyed it, or if you have any questions, and yeah, subscribe to my channel, give a like to this video, and until next time, take care guys, see ya.